Hello, I'm Rabbi Garfinkel, and I welcome you to the Ask My Rabbi show, the interactive video blog that gives you the opportunity to ask anonymous questions about Judaism and to get life advice from a Jewish perspective. As of today, there are 95 members in the Ask My Rabbi show's Facebook group, so if I sent you an invitation, please be sure to join as soon as you can. And if I didn't send you an invitation, please feel free to join anyway, as the group is open to all. Today's question comes from Alexandra in Canada. Here's her question. Dear Rabbi Garfinkel, both sides of my family are Jewish. However, after my grandparents emigrated to Canada during the war, my immediate family stopped practicing entirely. In fact, even in Europe, my mother's family always celebrated Christmas as a social holiday, not a religious one. My family has carried on that tradition. Many of my friends are Jewish, and as I have gotten into my 20s, I have developed a real interest in Judaism, and am interested in finding a Jewish partner. This brings me to my question. Would I be considered Jewish? Do I need to convert? Alexandra, this is a very interesting and important question, and I thank you for submitting it to the Ask My Rabbi show. The fundamental definition of a Jew, according to halakha, or Jewish law, is that a person born to a Jewish mother is a Jew. One who is born a Gentile, of course, can convert to Judaism, but in terms of birth, Jewish identity is passed on by the mother. The Talmud says, a Jew is a Jew even if he has sinned. Yisrael af al pi shechata Yisrael hu. Alexandra, you have expressed concern that you might need to convert because your family celebrated Christmas. In my opinion, you certainly do not need to convert. If your mother is Jewish, then you are Jewish, period, end of sentence. This is especially true if your family recognized itself as a secular Jewish family, but celebrated Christmas nonetheless. Even though you and your family have somewhat gone off the path by celebrating Christmas, you are still just as Jewish as the greatest of all rabbis. The Talmud on the same page quotes a popular saying at the time to make its point. A myrtle, even though it is surrounded by reeds, is still called a myrtle. The fact that you celebrated Christmas has no bearing on your Jewish identity. In my opinion, you are no different from the millions of Jews who eat pork and ignore Shabbat. In fact, their sins are more serious than the celebration of Christmas from a halachic standpoint. And yet it is obvious that a Jew who eats unkosher food and who violates Shabbat is still Jewish. All the more so, I would say, that a Jew who celebrates Christmas is still considered Jewish, especially if that celebration is secular and not a true celebration of Jesus' birth. A Jew cannot run away from his or her identity. I used to say that Judaism only cares about action and not one's beliefs, and that that's why a Jew is a Jew, even though he has sinned. But then I read a comment by Rabbi Tzadok of Lublin, better known by the title of his book, Resisei Laila. In that book, the Resisei Laila says that Judaism is not fundamentally about action or belief. Rather, he says that Judaism is simply a part of one's core being. It's like the ROM chip in a computer, the read-only memory that cannot be changed. Judaism is hardwired into the soul of every child of a Jewish mother. Now, what that Jew chooses to do with that identity is a different question, but he or she can never run away from it, ever. Now, it's important to note that Jews who willingly act in ways that separate themselves from the Jewish community can be denied the rewards and privileges of Jewish identity. For instance, I would not call to the Torah a Jew who attends church. Likewise, I would deny a so-called Jew for Jesus all synagogue privileges. Nor would I count either of these people in a minyan, a prayer quorum. I would not bury a Jew in a Jewish cemetery if that Jew always identified with another religion and never repented, even at the last second of his life. People like that are considered to be willing apostates, and they lose the privileges of Jewish life until they immerse in the ritual bath, the mikveh, to declare that they are once again loyal to God, Torah, and the Jewish people. So, Alexandra, the basic answer to your question is no, you do not have to convert, because you are already a Jewish woman. However, because of the spiritual awakening that you are experiencing, you might find value in going to the mikveh not for conversion, but rather as simply a statement of loyalty to the Jewish people. It would be a way of saying that even though you were on a non-Jewish path for a while, you have returned, and that you commit yourself fully to your people. I recommend saying the Shema before and after your immersion. You do not need a Beit Din, a religious court, for this immersion, because you are not converting. You were born Jewish, and this is simply a way to renew your spiritual passport. This immersion is not necessary, and I consider you fully Jewish whether you do it or not. Having said that, the immersion in a mikveh is a powerful way of declaring your intention to return to our people. If you want to immerse for these spiritual reasons, I recommend going to your local conservative rabbi for advice on where to immerse. Whether you decide to immerse or not, make sure you become active in a synagogue or a Hillel house on campus. Find a rabbi you trust to be your teacher. Look for a Jewish partner who shares your interest in Jewish life. Alexandra, let me be the first to say to you, welcome back, and good luck on your Jewish spiritual journey. And that's the end of this episode of the Ask My Rabbi show. I'm Rabbi Eli Garfinkel of Temple Beth El in Somerset, New Jersey. Please keep those questions coming. Shalom.